Now, your legs and feet, it could mean that you have a high level of abandonment and you feel so abandoned. Maybe you've been abandoned before, either by your parents, even emotional. The fact that they were not present emotionally could be like a sense of abandonment. And a lot of parents, in at least my era or my time, our parents only focused a lot on their work. So a lot of children would have felt abandoned. So if you're going through feet and leg challenges, there's abandonment and there's also self-abandonment. So someone else on the outside has abandoned you, but you also have abandoned yourself. And we do that so easily. We take on other people's challenges and leave us alone. And by the time we're done, we have no energy for ourselves because we're putting all our energy on other people. So self-abandonment, abandonment, your feet. I'm just going to go through different body parts. And so you can ask yourself this question: am I suffering any of these things? Because like I said, whether you know or like it or not, your body is the instrument of your mind. And if you're going through certain challenges with your body, I promise you, there's certain things that are going on in your mind that you need to fix, and you then find out that the healing of those places would also happen. Have you heard of how cancers might be resentment? Yes. Anger also can cause you skin irritation and skin diseases. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm only going to share with you some of them. You can do your research on some of them, and maybe another time I can come back with you. So within your stomach, and your stomach is fear. When you say, "Oh, I'm afraid of something," and then you start to run, go to the toilet. You have the runs. It's fear, anxiety. Right? Your stomach, if it consistently worries you, then you're consistently afraid of a future that has not even happened, that you created. Right? Fear and anxiety, stomach and your gut. Right? Shoulders, too much responsibility. Remember that we shoulder our responsibilities and other people's responsibilities. So if you consistently have pain in your shoulders, then you're carrying on more than you really should be. And so you need to learn how to drop some and ask for support from other people. Then anxiety as well can cause your shoulders to hurt. Yes? Mid-back. Remember I talked about different parts of your back. Low back is finance and you're not getting enough support. Your mid-back is grief, loss and sorrow. Your mid-back. Grief, loss and sorrow. Your mid-back. If you're having pain in the middle of your back, maybe you have lost something or someone, and you're grieving, and you then start to have pain in the middle of your back, or you're going through a loss, which is still under grief, and sorrow, all under grief. So maybe you're going through a lot emotionally at the moment for the loss of something. You have your jaw, anger, and resentment. If you have pain in your jaw all the time, anger and resentment, you've got to ask yourself, am I resentful towards anybody or towards myself? You've got to heal it. Am I always angry? You have jaw pain, maybe you're an angry person because you're always shouting, right? And so it has deposited there, and you're resentful. You want to look at that. Your neck, your throat and your voice. If you have pain in your throat and in your neck consistently, then you're being oppressed. You're not able to tell your truth. Even your thyroid is the same thing. You're not able to tell your truth to people. And so because you are suppressing who you really are, your throat suffers for it. Yes, your throat suffers for it. Or thyroid. Maybe you're not able to be honest with people around you that this is really how I feel. And because you keep putting it in, you're suppressing it, you implode and you eventually you implode and then you eventually explode. Your head, if you're consistently having headaches and migraines and all of that, it could be that you're overwhelmed or you're irritated. Either overwhelm or irritation. And you're also maybe feeling bad about yourself. That's what happens when you're consistently having headache. You're feeling bad about yourself. You're feeling bad about the situations around you. So you're in overwhelm all the time. And then it's that you could also maybe you're putting yourself down. So you're not just feeling bad, but you're consistently criticizing yourself. It can give you a headache all the time when you're consistently criticizing yourself. So I tell you, love yourself. Your ears could be that you're tired of hearing people tell you terrible things or negative things. Children used to have a lot of ear infection because maybe they're tired of hearing no, or they hear things that they can't do anything about. Especially as children, we're helpless as children. So a father tells you, you stupid child, you hear it, but you can't do anything about it. And so because you want to stop yourself from hearing all the negative things and the no's that they say to you, you have an ear infection. So if your child is consistently having ear infections or then ask yourself, what am I avoiding to listen to? Same thing with your eyes. It could be that I don't want to see this thing. It could be a consistent not wanting to see something or someone. And your eyes are saying, okay, let me help you achieve that. So you want to ask yourself, are you always having eye challenges? Maybe there are certain things you don't want to look at. Maybe if people are always fighting or people are always shouting. I mean, young children that are wearing glasses, if you look at some of them, if you check their homes, they're not going through fantastic times at home. They're seeing their parents always yelling at each other. Daddy is beating mommy, mommy is beating daddy. So they're trying to avoid seeing some of those things. And so they wear glasses from a very early time when mommy is always sad or daddy is always sad. Something is going on in their lives. And even as adults, I know at some point I created an eye challenge because I wanted to connect with my mother. And my mother used to wear glasses. So I thought, okay, how can I at least have one thing that reminds me of a connection with her? And I remember when we went to the optician's place, the ophthalmologist said to my mom, there's nothing wrong with her eyes. And I heard her tell my mom that, and I said, okay, I'll be back. And by the time I came back, they were prescribing glasses for me. So sometimes we create these things. So I've talked about head, I've talked about your jaw, I've talked about your eyes, I've talked about your ears. I wrote down something about your mouth and your teeth. It can be long. If you have consistent teeth challenges, is that you're taking a long time. You're somebody who has a lot of indecision. Let me put it at that. Your teeth, you have a lot of indecision. If you have consistent teeth challenges, then it means that you can never make up your mind about anything. And so your body is suffering for it. Your teeth are suffering for it because that's how you can be vocal, right? If you didn't have teeth, you wouldn't be able to speak out. And so once again, I talked about the throat. Everything around here is that you are being oppressed and you're not able, or you have oppressed yourself, because it might not be oppressing you, is that you have suppressed your own power by not telling people the truth, and you just keep saying, it's okay, I'm okay, are you okay, I'm okay. Meanwhile, you are suffering on the inside. And I used to do that. I used to people please a lot. I'm a recovered people pleaser. And I used to have a lot of jaw pains here and in my throat area because I could never really come out and tell people how I felt until I healed that. And now most of it, I'm better than before because I don't have the challenge or the challenge of not being able to speak my truth again. Let me put it that way, okay? So we've talked about, yes, and then anger. Anger can cause swelling. Anger can cause bruises and cuts. Your hair, if your hair is falling off all the time, then it means that you're under stress, immense stress. So you're not giving your scalp the permission for the hair to come out properly because you're under immense pressure and immense stress. So you need to keep telling your scalp, relax, all is well. And some people I'm sure are listening to me and say, what kind of rubbish is this girl saying? Well, I might be saying rubbish, but what if I'm not? What if what I'm saying is true? It might not be you, it might be a family member who is consistently talking about, oh, I have hair loss. Ask them, what are you going through at the moment that is stressful for you? that is not allowing your hair the permission to grow? Ask them. Just say, I listened to one yellow woman who said something. Maybe what she said might be right. Let's try it out. Just try it out and see, right? We talked about thyroid, we talked about your shoulders, how you're shouldering a burden that is too much for you to carry.